you so much for tuning in on Truth TV, and continually we are ensuring that you are empowered through our programs, and this is a Now Society program. Thank you so much for keeping on track with us, and today we'll be talking about depression. Well, in our previous episodes, we've talked about mental illness and we've talked about mental health, so just in case you missed out, you can check them out on our socials, and don't forget to subscribe. Well, did you know that according to the National Institute of Mental Health, it takes the average person suffering with a mental illness for over 10 years to ask for help? Well, today we are educating you about depression. What exactly is depression? And with me are amazing panelists who are going to help you get to understand about depression. And so I'll just allow them to introduce themselves. Maybe you might not know them. So yeah, let's start with Mrs. Baratenge.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name's Florence Baratenge. I'm a retired mental health nurse and a psychological counselor. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Pastor Mary Maina, pastor and also a psychologist. Thank you.
Hello, viewers. I'm Gabriel Ngugi. I'm a pastor at Life Celebration Center in Nakuru, and I'm a trained counselor.
Thank you so much. So my first question is, what exactly is depression, Mrs. Baratenge? Because you had mentioned in our last episode some types of mental illnesses, and depression was one of them. So maybe you can educate our audience. What exactly is depression and what causes it?
Okay, I can say that depression in very simple language, it is the state of the mind where the person has a false belief that they are useless and hopeless. It is a false belief. And the reason why I can start the way we had said before, personality. As we said, there are two main personalities. There are the extroverts. We said there are those people who talk. But the introverts, we said, they keep a lot to themselves.
Yeah.
And if I may explain a bit in a simple language, the human mind has got 3 layers. The way it functions, it has 3 layers, even the way we are seated here. Even the people in the camera. Those 3 layers, they are using them as we are using. The first layer of the mind is called the conscious level. And it's the one we are using here. The conscious. We usually say the conscious level is in touch with the environment. Yeah. And it's the one that gives the information. There is a second layer called subconscious. It is the door of the mind. It allows information in and out. There is the third layer, the largest part of the brain. It is called the store, unconscious level. This is where all the information of a human being are stored. According to our years here, whatever we have gone through, the experiences in life, both painful ones and good ones, they are stored where? In the unconscious level, they store. And as we have said, with the introverts, they are stored because they don't talk. They keep a lot.
It's full.
They keep until the store is full. And when the store is full, the other layers of the brain becomes helpless. And because God has created us in a way the brain communicates, then the brain tells you, now I'm tired. I cannot do anything. And in that moment now, depression may come in. And when depression comes in, this person now believes they are useless, they are hopeless, nobody who loves them, nobody who cares for them. And now depression comes in, and as it continues now, that's where somebody even sees there is no need of living. So it is the mind has become overwhelmed, and it cannot move on anymore. It cannot function anymore. Yeah.
And I've had quite a number of friends. So you ask them how they are, and then they say, wow, I'm depressed. I feel depressed. So my question to Pastor Mary and Pastor Gabriel is there a difference between severe depression or just depression and feeling depressed?
I think it's the language people use today because depression is now that serious state of the mind. Where you feel that now, just as Mrs. Baratenge have said, you have had enough. You have no interest in anything. Life does not make meaning. And I'm sure those people who say, I'm depressed, life is making meaning. So they could be just stressed. And stress is normal in our day-to-day activity. As we go through this life, it doesn't mean it is going to be smooth. Once in a while, we get stressed. But depression is now a serious state, as she has explained, where you feel worthless, you feel useless, you even separate yourself from people because they are not adding any value to you. You don't work because you don't see the meaning. And when you feel like that, you now graduate to the other level of becoming suicidal. You feel now that in this world, I am so useless, I'm hopeless, I cannot do anything, I cannot impress anybody. I am going now to the other world to kill myself and be at rest, there in the grave. That is now what we call depression. So those people are just stressed up in life. And I think they shouldn't really use that. I wish they knew the meaning of depression. So when you reach that point of feeling suicidal, that is when now we say you are completely depressed and it's severe, you need to see a doctor. Other times you might not feel like you are suicidal, but you may feel like other people are the cause of your problem and you want to kill them. So you can depress and not kill yourself, but kill other people. And that's why you hear so many cases, so and so killed Fulani, because they also reached that point where they felt, even if I killed anybody and go to jail, I don't care. After all, I'm worthless, I am useless. So you can, in depression, you can either kill yourself when it has reached its climax or kill other people.
So Shagabe, what is your input?
I can also pick from where Pastor Mary has left and say now there is the progression. Because now, people use this language, I'm stressed, even small children.
Depressed.
I'm depressed.
People like using that. And one can be depressed, yes, but they can also move to the next, they can graduate or not graduate, but really go and sink to clinical depression, which now, as the pastor is saying, one could have ideations of having themselves, of worthlessness to the point of thinking, why am I here? And they may take their lives and even also cause harm to others. So I would say there is this level of depression where you can see a counselor, but now there is this graduation or sinking down where now you have to seek medication. Because now there is the level of talking, which is a counselor, and now there's the other level of now, even if you talk to that person, they wouldn't really get what you're saying, and they have now to go to get medication. Antidepressants and all that, now to a psychiatrist. Yes.
And now, as Pastor Gabriel has said, depression is it progresses over time. And what are the types of depression that we have? Is it just one, or there are quite a number?
I can say there are quite a number. There is what we call neurotic depression. As I was explaining here, mental illness it has major and minor. What we call neurotic depression, it is a minor mental disorder that you can be depressed because of what is happening around you. For example, you've lost a loved one. You've lost a job. You've lost property. You can have that neurotic depression. It is that kind of depression that is because of what is happening. But it has not graduated because we are saying there is neurotic depression and psychotic depression.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, when it goes to psychotic depression, it is a major mental disorder. Neurotic, you can be taken through counseling and you are well. But when it comes to psychotic depression, you need medication, as Pastor has said. There is also depression that is related with childbirth and postpartum depression. Yeah, and that one comes now. It could be also neurotic and psychotic, because when it comes to postpartum, if this person has been having mental illnesses before, but now this lady or this mother during pregnancy and childbirth, she become mentally sick, she will need treatment because it's not neurotic. It is a condition, or maybe in a lineage there has been mental illness. She will need treatment. Yeah. So it's good. That's why these things, even for psychological counselors, and especially the times we are in, if you come across any person with suicidal thoughts, you don't give a chance straight to the psychiatrist. Because if you give them a chance and you start counseling them, somebody with the suicidal tendencies, counseling may not do much. Counseling will come later when they are treated, because it shows the mental power to handle the issues has gone down. Yeah.
My question is it possible that psychiatrists, I'm just asking clarification, is it possible that you get a misdiagnosis, especially between depression and a bipolar disease?
Okay, what I can say, we said bipolar.
It's true.
It is true. And you know, like a psychiatrist, they are able, there is a tool we use, we call mental status assessment.
Right.
So when you take a patient through, you'll know where they are, isn't it? And especially with the suicidal thoughts. Because as you are talking with this patient, they will reach a time and you may, sometimes we trigger them the way, let me use example, Pastor Mary. I say, Pastor Mary, you look very beautiful, you look well. Kweli, mimi, do I even, am I somebody? Is this life important? I feel I've reached the end.
And you had told me I look nice.
Yeah. Then from there, the psychiatrists who know this one needs treatment. Yeah. But you know, if it's minor, through the tool and the assessment, you'll know this one, because there are some who come with the neurotic depression, the psychiatrist does not give them treatment. He sends them to a counselor because they have not reached that stage of being treated. Because not all depressions are given treatment. But the sign here is when the suicidal thoughts or suicidal attempts have come in. This is a case of treatment. Because when you give them time, they'll go to the other side. And to add of what Pastor Mary was saying, when it comes, because we say depression may end up with what we call homicide. It's killing and suicidal. Research has shown that the psychological pain that this person has is either relieving it to himself when he's committing suicide or to the other person. It is the psychological pain is too much, depending on what has harbored in the mind. And maybe sometimes the person who is being killed is not really the cause. He has just come to trigger of whatever is in the mind. Maybe you may quarrel over something, and maybe you have been quarreling, but the last minute when now the mind has reached the end, you end up healing or killing yourself.
And Mercy, just there's something I read in research. It is said that women are more prone to depression than men. I don't know whether the other panelists have come across that, and I was asking myself, why women? Yet women talk a lot. And I tend to think the mfuko Mrs. Baratenga is telling us about, the larger part of the brain where the traumatic events are kept in somebody's life. We are able to release as women faster than men. Generally, men are the ones who are not able to talk. And I was asking myself, why women? Is it a mistake or is it true?
It is true. I can say that that statement is true.
Right.
But women do not end up committing suicide. Men do.
Interesting facts right there. What do you guys think? Thanks for your feedback.
You know, women,
Oh, yeah.
we can say that why women we are prone to depression. Naturally, the way God created us, women we are so emotional. We go with what we hear, and we want to hear good things. Are we together? We want to hear good things, and that's why you find there are so many fashions we are putting on different colors, because as we are psychological. We usually say men are physical, women are psychological. Men go with what they see, as we go with what we hear. And if you are not hearing good things, if you are not being appreciated, we are very likely, as Pastor Mary has said, we are likely to go into depression. But the good thing with this, even when we go to depression, we are able to talk. That's why you find most women do not hang themselves or do not kill themselves. They go into depression and they are able to come out. But men, because of their ego, you know what disturbs men is their ego, because from the word go, creation, they have been given the power and authority to rule.
Yes.
Because of that ego of theirs, they keep a lot. They don't want to look weak. They are not able to control the world as God ordered them. And that's why psychologically that pain, they may end up. So the research is true, but they don't end up.
Well, thank you.
Interesting facts right there. Let's go for a break, just a minute, and then we'll be right back. Don't touch that dial. See you then. With us, this is a Now Society program, and today we are talking about depression, and I hope you are following keenly. And we're just here to empower you and let you know what exactly is depression and how can you get help. So what are some of the other signs and symptoms, Pastor Mary and Pastor Gabriel, of maybe neurotic depression, aside from being suicidal, aside from thinking about homicide of other people?
There are many signs of depression, especially today. And one of the simple signs you can note is when there is sleeplessness. Somebody is not sleeping at all. Then with that, you know that there's a problem with the mind, eating, not feeding so well, not able to cope with the day-to-day activity. Even in school for students, I think we said that earlier in our earlier episodes, that when the performance rate drops, then there is a sign that all is not well. And there are many causes of depression. We had mentioned earlier family conflict, abuses, being abused during childhood abuse, and you grow feeling that you are not worth because maybe a rape case happened to you. And I can say, I think we had discussed that so much, that there can be so many causes. of depression right now in Kenya today, it is estimated that 1 in 10 people are depressed. And one of the major causes of depression is unemployment. We have many people who have gone through, transitioned from school, and for that matter, graduates who are outside there, and they have no jobs. They have no money.
Yeah.
So because of that, the state of the nation, some of them can get depressed. Again, depending on somebody's personality. Because there are those who are able to handle stress very well, whether you have a job or not, and they are able to move on with their lives. But some people are not able to do that, and depression can show up very easily.
Pastor Gabriel, do you have any inputs?
Yeah, I would say also excessive sadness. Someone may show excessive sadness and even fatigue and looking worn out many times. And this is not a person that usually is like that. It is something that has come over time. These changes are also good to look out for. Yeah, and some may come out of, even little children may also show this, maybe out of a curriculum. That is
CBC.
Earlier on, you find we were discussing in class with my lecturer how a small kid would carry a huge bag, 2 times his weight, and again waking so early before, because in our times I think we would go to school very late, and then I remember we were seeing Sasani Sasita.
Why did you go?
Why? Because we would leave school while it is still almost morning and go back home and play. I think the rate of depression was not as high as today. So I would say sadness and looking fatigued and lack of motivation. A person that used to be very motivated. I think also a change of behavior. Somebody may have a sudden change of behavior. Like I saw a man, I think 70-something years, who went and sold the shamba, and then spent some, I would say how much so that you don't pinpoint the person, but he spent a lot of money within, I think, a weekend or something. So now you see, maybe this is a person that has gone through depression and he needs just one high, just to feel high. And he makes a decision which he wants to recover all the sad times he's had. Not that he doesn't know it's wrong, but the feeling of that high is so important to him than the consequences of losing hundreds of thousands. So I would say also this was sudden and unplanned actions that seems really out of way.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Partenge, we've talked about the various general symptoms. What are the key symptoms I should, probably as a mother or probably as a friend of an older person or even a younger person, what are some of the symptoms I have to look out for in a younger person and an older person, and just see there's something wrong? They might be having depression.
Okay, I'll go back with the behavior. With mental illness and also depression, you check the behavior more than you check the behavior and the way they are talking. There is also something, you find somebody who was very smart, very groomed, all of a sudden they are not interested with their grooming, or the way we say their self-esteem is down. They talk negatively about themselves. Personal hygiene is neglected. The others may not, they had a very high appetite all of a sudden. There are suicidal behaviors whereby somebody is like saying kwaheri. They are not going to tell you kwaheri, but it's like what the Bible says, oh, this is vanity. Let me just enjoy now and go. There are some you may find there is this suicidal behavior. Somebody may say, stop wasting your food. Why? Because he knows even if I eat, I'm going to commit suicide. Yeah. Or you see somebody all of a sudden they have become abnormally generous and wanting to do things that they are communicating. Yeah. They could be communicating. Say, telling you goodbye. Young people, you may tell, they will start. There is recently, I know. She started saying, this year, she was in the church serving. She started saying, this year, I want to rest. I have served God so many years.
Wow.
And this year, I'm looking forward, I'm seeing a wedding coming. Kumbe ni funeral yake. We together.
It's not the real wedding.
It's not the real wedding ni ya binguni. You know those are suicidal? Thoughts. This year, I feel like resting. And when you look at him, especially for young people, they are still strong, saying, I've served God and I think this year is to rest. So I don't want to serve anymore. You know that one, the age and the behavior. So the person who was telling me the way she has been talking, she was very sad. I wish I knew this was suicidal language. A young person, you may tell, he see you, then he may say, when you see me, he will meet. Yeah. Or I want to go for a long journey. I'll go wherever. Those are suicidal language. It is a bell ringing. Those are suicidal language.
Or I'm doing this for the final time.
Nimefika mwisho.
I will not do this again.
Again. Oh, this is my last birthday.
Yeah.
I'm celebrating
My last birthday.
my last birthday.
It's quite important to take note.
Because you know, with the people say, Mercy, what are you telling us? And then you flash it. Because like the lady, we don't know, but the way she was communicating is like she had something in her mind. Yeah.
That's quite something.
Or somebody, you may find like somebody becoming so generous with the money, he withdraws money from ATM and saying, come enjoy, this life is very short. That one is suicidal behavior.
And how is it? You wanted to add something?
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's good to be our brother's keeper.
Yeah.
So that I know things are tough.
Yeah.
You know, if they are tough up there, they are tough for everybody.
Yeah.
I think it's also good to go back to the basics. And, you know, when you hear a friend talk like that, or a son or a daughter, even if they don't belong to me, when you hear that, I think it's good to give it thought and to follow up and maybe to listen to them more.
And I think that's why we are here, educating the society outside there. Because you realize most of the time, people don't know about these things. When they hear people talking like that, they think there's a lot of joke in the society today.
Yeah.
They think it's a joke, and that person graduates and go on, finally commits suicide. So that is why the Now Society program is right here to try and educate them about the issues that are happening. Mrs. Baratenge, you remember when you are young?
Yeah.
Maybe people never used to talk the way they talk today.
Yeah.
There is a difference.
Yes.
And they went through very hard things.
Yeah.
But still, they kept
Persevere.
their faith up. They were resilient. I think the society has changed today. What has changed?
Okay, I can say to add on that, things have changed. When we look back, we had only two mentors, two teachers during our time. The teacher, the parent, the teacher, the teacher.
Teacher in school.
In school.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had only that. And when you remember, the information that you get from the teacher from school, when it reaches the teacher, the parent, they are the same. And you know, because during those times, there were no other factors affecting our growth and development. It was only two. And the teacher in school, the parent, they had time with us. And we got used to that life. But now, when we look at the time we are in, where we have changed, there are now come so many factors that has affected growth and development. Why? Civilization comes with its own problems. You find that the media, these days, mothers are working, fathers are working. After 3 months of maternity leave, paternal is 2 weeks, you go back to work. You leave this child with the house help. And this house help, you've given her a lot of work. So what should you do? She'll put the baby on the heat and watch the baby. So the first factor to influence is the TV. To influence the mind. And you never know what the child is saying. So what are we saying? We are saying that the factors, the media, has influence. The peer pressure. Are we together? Yeah, the computer, the mobile phone, all these things. And you find now the teacher and the parent, they do not have much time with the children. Are we together? They do not have much time. So you find that is what has changed. We can say now our minds in this level, they have been corrupted. They have been contaminated with so many things. So that you find the influence is so much. And our minds cannot be able to bear anymore, like before. Because as we were growing up, we saw our parents, the way and what they went through. And we are able, because we always say, the mind of a human being is like a computer. Whatever you feed it, it gives you.
Thank you so much for that input. That's quite a lot to ponder on. Catch us after this break. See you then. We had mentioned earlier that 1 out of 10 people suffer from mental illness. And right here on the Now Society, we are talking about depression, just in case you're joining us right now. And I have a number of panelists right here who are helping us understand this topic. So how exactly can we help people with suicidal thoughts? How do we treat depression?
Okay, thank you very much. What I can say, depression, as we have been discussing, when it comes to suicidal thoughts, you realize that is a red flag that the mental power of this person has gone down. Because when the suicidal thoughts have come in, this person has given up. Because in the normal way, the way God created us with the 3 layers of the brain, we are able to handle our issues. And we are able to move on, to handle stress. But now when the suicidal thoughts come in and you start hearing the person is like giving up, does not have hope, they are unworthy, they feel hopeless, then at that stage they need help. They need help of seeing a psychiatrist and on medication. So because these antidepressants drugs, they raise the mood. They raise the mood of this person from the mood of feeling raw and worthiness not to come up. Yeah, so they will need treatment. And these days we combine treatment with counseling. They need to see a psychological counselor so that they may also be taught out on coping mechanisms, how to cope with their stress. Others, maybe they have been unable to let go. They are carrying a lot of pain, bitter experiences. They feel betrayed. So they will need a psychological counselor. Both now the psychiatrist comes in and the psychological counselor to help this person. They also need spiritual help, to be prayed for, to be encouraged. That all is not lost and God cares for them. God loves them. They also need psychosocial support. The family support may come in to support, because we know people who are depressed, suicidal, they feel they are not loved. Their self-esteem is very low. They need to be told, Mercy, it is well. We love you. You are important. You mean a lot to us. Yeah. Life is worth living. Yeah.
I think to add on what Mrs. Baratenge is telling us on the Now Society today, most of the patients who suffer from depression have issues with their self-esteem. And some of them, we've just talked about internet here. Some of them will go to the internet to try and feel that they are accepted in the society, to find their self-worth. Well, they will look for those things from the internet. But I think if the society is really educated on self-acceptance, you are good just the way you are, young or old. The way God created you, you look good. You accept yourself as you are. That raises your self-esteem very much. And therefore, the suicidal thoughts are not likely to come in, because you've already accepted who you are. And you don't also wait for other people to define you. Because you see, in the society today, the problem is people are waiting for others to define them, to tell them, oh, you are doing good, Pastor Gabriel. You know? But it is that self-talk. I remember Mrs. Baratenge, some time ago we were talking, and we were saying 90%, that is what we say, 90% have to come from you. Only 10%
come from the
other people. But now you see today, 90% come from people. And that 90% can be divided. Some are telling you are useless, others are telling you are good. So I want to urge our viewers to self-talk, to talk good things about themselves. Remember, 90% of who you are will come from you. And only 10% come from the outside world. When you talk about yourself well, it is more likely that you cannot have those suicidal thoughts. You can't kill yourself, you can't kill others. The second thing I would want to say is about if you realize maybe somebody has depression, it's good to love them. And I think that's what you said about the friends and the relatives
come in.
It's good to embrace them and to show them love. Because you see, what they are lacking is that love from people. They feel worthless, they feel useless. The society, the relatives and the friends need to bring those people closer and tell them, come on, you are good, we love you. You are doing very well. I am also more concerned about students who keep on failing. And they feel, I think my sister got an A, my brother got an A, I have gotten a D. So, comparing yourself with other people. When we begin to compare ourselves with other people, then that is when we go down and down and down the pit of depression. And in today's society, and I think this is why this program is very important, Pastor Gabriel, the Now Society, people are so hooked to the internet. You ask somebody, how is this? They tell you, let me Google. It's like Amekua. And I like what she said, that the mwalimu today
It's
of
the
our
Google.
society,
It's the
especially
Google.
for the young people,
It's the Google.
it's the Google.
Yes.
They believe so much in what
Yeah.
the internet is saying than they would believe in their parents or in their grandfather. A long time we used to be given wisdom by our grandfather. And they believe so much in the Google than they believe in anything else.
Yes, yeah.
So it's the greatest teacher.
Teacher,
today.
yeah.
And they will find themselves who they are through the
The
internet.
Google.
And especially for young people. Sorry, I'm not against you, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
let's also minimize the usage of our phones. Today, people hardly talk to each other, both young and old.
Oh,
when
yeah.
they get home, is the phone. Even when they are eating, they're just on their phone. And I think the phones are not doing, they are good because they give us information. But I think we should have some limits on the phone. And also take the good things. The good education that you are getting on the phone, but not anything that can harm you.
Right.
Don't look at the celebrities there and try to compare yourself with them. You want that shoe they are wearing. You want to talk the way they are talking. And you know, that's setting high goals for yourself. It makes you depressed. It's good to set goals that you can achieve. And don't compare yourself with anybody because God created you in a very powerful way. You are wonderfully and fearfully made. I think that's what I would say.
Yeah, I also say that it is in levels, you know. There's also that preventative. And family support comes first. Outside there, one is harassed so much. And we have a place. Family is very important. You know, parents, relatives, you know, those close people can be a very good place for support before these things have escalated. And also having spoken to yourself, you know, having looked inside yourself and have a self-talk. The next level is family. It's a very, very, very strong emotional support. And we are not promised that it will be easier. Actually, 2 Timothy chapter 3, I must quote.
That's good.
2 Timothy, that should be 2 Timothy 3, verse 1 onwards. It talks about behavior so much. First of all, says, know this, you know, just know this, that in the last days, perilous times or hard times will come. Why? It gives a list of malevolent things, you know, not good things, but very bad things. People will be lovers of themselves, people will love money, people will boast, people will be proud, people will be lovers of themselves and not lovers of God. People will love money, people will, you know, it gives a very long list of the behaviors of people. So psychology did not start today, counseling did not start today.
It's in the Bible.
And it's because of the behaviors of the people that depression comes in. So we are not expecting to have very easier times. Perilous times will come. But now, where is your support? Do you have your support where you speak to yourself? Do you have support? Do you surround yourself with people who believe in you? I may have 100, 1,000, 1,000,000 followers, but who is my friend? And I talk to those followers and they bring me back to the way, or they are going to troll me, and then it makes me even go deeper into depression. Do I have that one friend, those two friends, those workers that we are together, those that think well of me? So it's also in levels, and therapy can happen there.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Barchenge, is counseling, just a question, is counseling the same as therapy?
Okay, therapy, the meaning of therapy is treatment or help.
Okay.
Because now there is therapy, even when you go through treatment, treatment is also therapy. And counseling also, we always say there is physical treatment and psychological treatment. Counseling is psychological treatment. But now drugs, they are the physical treatment. And now when it comes to depression, they have to work together. You are not depending on the drugs alone. The drugs are to stabilize the mind. Psychologically now you help the person how to cope. And how, as Pastor Mary and Pastor, they have said, self-understanding is very important. To know who you are. And also to know the family lineage. It's good to know. You know, being a psychiatric nurse and I've been in the ward, when you ask somebody, in your family, is there any cases of mental illness? Hakuna, there is nothing. Tayari there. It's also good to know if in the family lineage there is mental illness, so that we are able to handle stress. When we are stressed up, we seek for help, so that you may not reach now to mental illness. It's good to appreciate that. Mental illness is like any other. The way there is diabetes lands within the family's hypertension and all others, even mental health comes in. And it's good for people to appreciate. It's not your own doing. You do not, it is the way life is. Self-understanding is very important. And also, another thing, understanding your personality. Who are you? Are you an introvert or
extrovert?
And my message is, we change our attitude towards our personality. If I know I'm an introvert, do I have a confidence, somebody who I can share my issues with? That is, I cannot change my personality, but I can change my attitude towards my personality.
Thank you so much. As we wind up the show, I'd just love us to give us our parting shots. Maybe you can start with you, Pastor Mary.
I am enjoying this program because it's about the society and what is happening today in our society. And I would say that I'm very happy to discuss about depression. And the main thing that are coming up here is that we have to, the major part to pray to avoid depression lies on ourselves. We have to accept ourselves the way we are and how God created us to be. Psalms 139 says, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And when God created each and every one of us, He looked at us and said, we looked good. So self-acceptance is very important. Let nobody define who you are, but you're just good by yourself and you can make it in this life. In case there is something that is making you not go on, it is not a sin to seek help. So let's embrace the attitude of openness so that we can get the help that we need. We can go for counseling or therapy. Counseling is a bit, just a few things you are told to help you cope, but I believe therapy is more deeper, where we use the theories to be able to help you, and it can go on, therapy can go on for a long, long time. And different theories are used so that you can get treatment. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening to us.
I'll also take this opportunity to say also this is a good program. I'm happy to be part of this. And to say it's good when the church also embraces mental wellness program like this. And also to talk about counseling. And one of the titles given to the Holy Spirit and Jesus is Counselor. Yeah, Jesus is called Wonderful. He's called Counselor. Yeah, so it's good. It's part of that. The Bible says, come, let us reason together. And in counseling is where you have to come and you have an agreement, you have a professional relationship until one is well. It's not like many people think that hata naleta mtoto kuja fanyia you counseling. No, even a child has to have consent na aseme kwamba inataka fanywa hii. I don't know if ikifika pale psychotic, I think that sometimes it is not voluntary. Somebody has to be given
to be brought. Yeah.
But in counseling, unasema ni nini? I see the need, they have to go.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Petenge.
Okay, I can say I'm very much happy and delighted to be here in this program, because being a mental health nurse, my heart is in mental health, and I really embrace even the mentally sick. You might even meet me in town, embracing one another, and because I can say those who are mentally sick or handicapped, they are human beings like us. They have feelings. Let us learn to embrace people and raise their self-esteem. That they feel, we always say human beings are social beings. They need to be loved. They need to belong. So I'm very happy, and I wish you well. And I know God has come a time as this with a reason and a purpose. And many are going to be helped in this program, and life will never be the same for them. So be blessed.
Thank you so much. And from us to you, it has been an amazing time, and I hope that this time has been of instrumental to your life. Well, catch us up on our next episode on the Now Society program, and from us to you, till next time, see you then. And if you have any questions, any feedback, feel free to send them on our number that is on your screen, or you can follow us on our social media platforms. Ask anything, and I trust that you will be empowered by the messages and what we have talked about. Till next time, I have been your host. My name is Marcy Projects. See you then.